Hello, everybody. It's the 24th of October, 2023. It's a nice day today. Don't have a lot of time left in the day, but I did want to start this video just wrapping up something from yesterday, which has to do with the door. I discovered that the left rear door that I was sent actually belongs on a convertible, and it's not really compatible with a sedan. It'll fit in the car, it'll bolt onto the hinges, and it'll latch and everything, but wanted to show you the specifics about what I'm talking about. So here we have the very nice door that came from Desert Valley Auto Parts. Beautiful condition, no rust, no dents, great condition. But what I didn't pay attention to yesterday, because I was more focused on the bumper over there, was that the ends are different right here. There's three openings, one, two, three right there. Those are specific to convertibles only. And all of that has to do with the fact that on the convertible, when you open the rear door, the window lowers itself automatically by about 6 inches so that the back corner of the window right about here doesn't interfere with the top, the canvas top, and rip it. So on the sedan, that's not a convertible, like on my car, I'll show you here specifically what I'm talking about. It doesn't have those holes and whatnot because the mechanism isn't necessary to lower the door automatically when you open the door. So on this door, there are no openings at all. Nothing here because the whole window actually slides forward a little bit on a convertible, so they had to cut a slot there to make room for that to happen before it went down. And so I didn't realize that at first yesterday when I was unpacking the boxes in my excitement. So I've sent a note to that uh, auto parts place that I got it from, Desert Valley Auto Parts, and I'm waiting on their response because I want to exchange that door. Alternatively, I asked them to send me the pieces that belong in those holes if I had to use this door. And if they refuse to do that, then I might just try and sell that door myself and buy another one somewhere else. So we'll see how that goes. The other thing is I did a small order from Parts Geek. I think that's what it's called, Parts Geek. Yeah, Parts Geek. So they have some pretty good prices on their stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff's made in China. It's not show quality stuff, but for what I'm doing, where I can save money, I'm going to save money because I can always replace later if I need to. So I have an electronic voltage regulator that replaces an electromechanical style, a new starter relay, a remanufactured alternator, which of course I'll have to swap the pulleys with. I saved the double pulley from my car, and then a remanufactured starter by Remy. And then I also bought separately this fuel pump. Yeah, it's not the right style, but it's like 15 times cheaper than the proper rebuilt three-port Carter fuel pumps I've been able to find online. They demand a premium price, and I'm just not willing to pay that right now. I've run on these fuel pumps before, never really had any problems. I've heard all the arguments about you got to have that third port for that return line and all that to prevent vapor lock and whatnot. But for now, on a budget, I've got to go with the cheaper one. This one was only about $45, including shipping, compared to like $500 for a properly rebuilt three-port fuel pump from other suppliers out there. So I'm going with that for now. So today, with what little time I do have, I'm going to start to or continue the work on this rear bumper here. The major parts of it are reassembled from yesterday. Now it's time to put the light fixtures back in it and attach the brackets, the mounting brackets, so I can put it back on the car. So we'll see how far I get today with that part. Decided to do a little polishing on the bumper here before I put my light fixtures in because it's a lot easier to get into the areas that are concealed by the light fixtures and the license plate and all that. I'm trying this product called Neverdull. Comes in a can. It's kind of like almost like a steel wool, kind of sort of, and it's got some kind of polish built into it. It actually works pretty good because it cleans up amazingly well considering what I had to work with. This chrome, this is from 1966, 67, so we're talking like 50 plus years, 55 years. So this metal is cleaning up really nice just using this compound here. It's not show quality by any stretch of the imagination, but it really did do a good job without too much effort of cleaning up the surface rust and whatnot. So definitely presentable, especially when you step back, 5 or 10 feet. It really looks nice then. So the stuff just comes in kind of a wad. I don't know if I can set this camera up or not like this, but it just comes in a wad like this, and I just pull the section out and just start polishing. Pretty easy to use, amazingly. So already has whatever compound it has in it, and you just start rubbing along the metal, and it does a good job. It's supposed to be really good on wheels and really any kind of metal surface. So um, just a quick little, not too much effort here. Just something that's now's a good time to do it with other things not in the way. All right, continuing with the cleaning of the bumper, light cleaning. Once again, I find myself having to deal with these junkyards that decide to mark their parts when they ship them. I really don't know why they do that, but here I am trying to scrape it off. Okay, this one's coming off a little easier than the other ones did, so that's good. Maybe I won't have to resort to the gasoline-soaked rag like I did on the front bumper. Okay, good. This is more like almost like a crayon coming off, so I should be able to get the rest off with some kind of polish like I was using. So that's good. And there's another piece on top here. There we go. I don't know who JAM is. I don't know if that was the technician that did the work or what. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. JAM is disappearing here in a hurry. Best I can, anyway, with the scraper. Try not to damage the metal itself, the chrome. And then there's an old sticker over here on this end to scrape off. Usually, these kind of stickers end up preserving the chrome a little bit that's underneath. This looks like it probably would have been in the way of the light fixture too going in here, or the light fixture would have concealed it somewhat. So that's out of the way, so that looks pretty good. So now I'll go back to using a fresh wad of this polish and see how that does. Alright, so I'm done polishing the bumper for now, the rear bumper. I can definitely recommend this stuff called Neverdull. It's pretty cool how it works. It's pretty simple to use, and it did a nice job on this old bumper, it really did. So I was able to scrape off that little square sticker that was right there, and like I suspected, the chrome underneath that sticker is in better shape than the surrounding chrome. And I was able to get most of the blue writing off using just a razor blade scraper. There's still a couple of small little specks of blue on there, but I'll worry about that when I get it back on the car. So one thing I hadn't done yet in preparation for this moment, putting this thing back together, was test the reverse lights. I did work on the stoplight, tail light assemblies and got all those bulbs working properly and all that, but I never did test the reverse lights. I thought I would do that real quick. Just set it grounded on the negative here and hit the positive and see if it lights up or not. Okay, either I don't have a good ground or that's just not working. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe with this one it might work. Let's see. It's probably not a good ground. All right, well, I'll work on that some more. I don't want to put these back on the car, on the bumper, until I know they're working. All right, I was able to get one of them to light up. I didn't need to take the cover off, but I just wanted to look at the bulb. I just wanted to illustrate that I was able to get it working. There it goes. You can see it right there. It's on. So the other one, the bulb is frosted over, which tells me it needs to be replaced. And I don't have a spare like that here, so I'll have to go to the store and get one of those. Those are still fairly common and easy to find. So now I'm going to just go ahead and, since I don't have time to run to the store right now, I'm going to put the taillights in the bumper instead. So we'll go and do that now. All right, now I've got my taillight assemblies here ready to be installed. I removed the 4 1/2-inch mounting bolts that each one has. So they're ready to go in. These I previously cleaned up before, tested, got all the lights working and all that kind of stuff. So it should just be a matter of installing them in the correct orientation. They are marked with a top on the lens and everything, but it'd be hard to put these in backwards anyway because they're only going to fit in one way. Now they do have an adjustment. There's a slot right here where the bolts go. So if I need to, adjust them up or down or whatever, or in or out, I can. So it's just a matter of getting all these started, like so. I'm hoping that I assembled the actual bumper itself properly so that this all fits like it should. So I'm going to flip it over once I get these both started, see what it's starting to look like on the other side. All right, that's one side started. Same thing over here. I'm going to wait to install the brackets, which go right here. So I think it'll be easier to install the reverse light assemblies first and then put those brackets on. At least I think that's the case. Whichever one turns out to be easier to do first or better to do first, that's the way I'll do it. Or it may not make a difference which order I do it in. I don't know yet. So that means I'll just wait on the, at least on the one side, to get that light bulb I need for that reverse light. So now I'm going to flip this over. Let's see what this is looking like on the other side. Okay, wow, it's looking really good, actually. Looking real good. Let's see if I can manipulate this a little bit so you can see it too. So that's kind of an initial look here. So I'm satisfied that that's looking pretty good. Let's see, how's it? It doesn't move left or right. It will go a little bit in or out, I think, if I wanted it to. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, it doesn't move that much, so I can probably just tighten the bolts as it sits right now and see what the final fitting looks like. I guess it doesn't really move that much after all. Okay, so we'll just take it pretty much where it wants to sit naturally and snug her up. And I'm not going to over tighten these. I guess I should be using my electric ratchet here, but this is all right. Oh, here we go. That's in the way, so I'll have to tighten that a little differently. Use a different socket or something. Okay. All right, that's that side. All right. This one's moving a little bit more. Not sure which way I want it to go, so I'm just gonna let it go back. See how that looks. A little bit of interference on that side too. All right, let's see what this is looking like. All right, I'm thinking that's looking pretty good. All right, I know you can't see that too well. Pick this up a little bit. There we go. See the one side, it looks pretty good to me. And the other side, this one, I think on this one I'm going to have to slide this over a little bit more. On this one, I think this end piece is going to have to come in a little bit. There's a pretty good gap here, and I noticed the mark on the top bar looks like this is supposed to be sitting in further. So I'm going to attempt to make that adjustment anyway. Right now, well, it's obvious before I put it on the car, and it becomes a big deal to have to take it off again to properly adjust it. So I'll work on that here for a minute. All right, so here's the bumper with the taillight assemblies installed. Looking pretty good. I was able to loosen the two bolts behind here, 5/8 size socket, and tap this in so it's further in, so that gap here pretty much closed up. And looking pretty good. I'm satisfied so far. It's nice and clean and coming together well. So I do have one reverse light assembly that I'm going to go ahead and install and see if that goes first or if the mounting bracket goes first, and we'll go from there. All right, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm working on the real taillights. I've figured out how these brackets go back on. I never had any issue, I just didn't know it, about putting the reverse light assembly in it's far away from the bracket where this is supposed to go. So I'm just going ahead and putting in these light assemblies. I did take the time to use that polish again with my little steel wool, whatever that stuff is, to clean these up a little bit. They're pretty badly pitted inside, so there's only so much I can do. But again, this is not a show car. It's just going to be a daily driver once I get it going. So I'm just putting this in place. Oh, looks like where the interference might have come in is with the stoplight assemblies. But even with that, it's certainly not an issue for getting these on. I just have to remember which way to face this. Apparently I had it right the first time. I don't remember. Okay. Exactly how this is supposed to go. Hopefully I'll get this right. I don't think there's any particular magic to doing this. Just gotta be careful and get it on there right. Alright, let's see if I can get these screws started. Oh boy, I wish I had realized that the interference was actually from the taillight assemblies and not this. So I will endeavor to get that on there and also to bolt these in. So we'll see how that looks like in a few minutes. It turns out you can install those reverse lights upside down, which is why I was having such difficulty because I didn't have it facing the right way. So after I figured that out, I took it apart again and flipped it around, and now I'm ready to just tighten it in place. Although I don't like the way I see this gap in the back here, so there must be some trick to getting this adjusted the way it's supposed to be. I'm not sure, but I definitely see a gap I don't like. So I'm going to continue working on that, adjusting there. All right, that's going to wrap it up today. The sun's going down. I did get the brackets on. They didn't sit where I remembered them sitting, but I figured it out. Now they're where they're supposed to be. There was no interference at all between these brackets and where the reverse light goes. Wasn't real happy with how the reverse lights sit in there. They don't seem to fit very well at all. They don't fit in the hole tightly and all that like I would like. So, I mean, once you tighten down the mounting bolts in the bracket, they're not going anywhere. I just didn't like the way that felt and everything. And I realized, I thought about just going ahead and installing this one too. This one actually has the good light bulb, but I need to fix this plug first. I'd forgotten about that. I need to get a male end on here like this side has. This is the one that actually needs a light bulb, but that can be done when it's in the bumper, so I didn't need to wait on that. But I'm not going to put this back in because that makes that a lot harder to fix that wire, so I'm going to fix that first before I install it. So until I install that, fix that, I can't put the bumper on the car, but it's close. I'll flip it over here one last time for a last look for the day. There we go. So this is what it's looking like. Got a little stink bug there, that's fine. Yeah, see, I don't like the way this reverse light sits in here. You can see a little gap right there, sorry bug, in that corner that I don't like. So I'm probably going to try and adjust that some more. That's weird how that sits in there. I guess it had to have been that way. I just didn't notice it until I, tried to put it back together. But the rest of it is just about done. I've got the little plastic insert that goes there. I'm just taking that off the other one, but we're just about done with this. Looking good. I wanted to mention, I forgot that I had to use one of my new bolts here that I had bought for the front bumper. I had several of them because the square nut that's on the other side of this was wanting to cross thread on me. So I had to carefully make sure this one would go in. It's a clean bolt, while the other ones are kind of rusty and corroded. So I got that one on there. Finally got it to go straight, and I had to use the several washers here because this has the shank on it, so it wouldn't go down, tighten all the way. So I had to put the washers on there just like I did on the front bumper. So that worked out. It tightened down just fine. And actually, I think that's going to be it for today's update. So as I was cleaning things up, I just happened to find one of my little junk drawers here, the plug that I need to repair this. So there's no point in I've still got some daylight out there. I can get this finished, and then all that's left the next time I work on my car is to actually install the bumper. Now the gauge of this wire, this is a smaller wire than the original, but these are reverse lights, and they only go on for a few seconds at a time, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just going to use a simple butt splice I know they should be soldered and you should use shrink wrap and all that stuff, but this is, you know, the MacGyver way of doing it. Somebody left me a comment recently, said they liked how I MacGyvered things, so here's to you. All right, this worked out better than I thought it did. Here's the repaired assembly here, and I did test it on the battery to make sure I had good continuity, and the light came on just fine. So that repair is good. So I was able to install it in the bumper. So now the bumper is actually ready to be installed on the car, but that's going to be a fairly arduous task, especially by myself. So I'm not even going to try to start that now with the sun just about to set on the horizon. I do remember that this one is missing the backing nut that's supposed to be back there, so I don't know. I may try to figure out a way to attach a square nut back there, because I have spare square nuts, but this little bracket down here that holds the square nut in place, it fell off. So I'd have to use something to hold that on with. I don't know if maybe some JB Weld or something like that might work, because I'm not a welder. I don't have any welding equipment or anything like that. So I might play with that before I actually install it on the car, just to see if I can get everything loaded on there like it's supposed to be. It's supposed to look like this one over here. These are both in place still, and over here. So, but otherwise, except for that little thing there, which I may not worry too much about, she's ready to go back on the car. All right, one last postscript. Now that I got it back in the shed here, just sitting until I can get it on the car, took a closer look at the reverse lights, and I noticed right here on the right side, there's this piece sticking through from the bracket that holds it in place. I didn't quite get this one in there right, so I'm going to have to fix that before I put it on the car. On the other side, it looks good. I don't see that gap there or anything. So she's ready to go. Looking pretty good, I think, so I'm happy.